First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Both teams emerging from the Ford Field tunnels just a short time ago. And, of course, the loudest cheers were reserved for the hometown Lions. They're set to go as they will match up with the Minnesota Vikings. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Now here's the first carry for Ameer Abdullah. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Now the rookie from Boise State, Alexander Madison. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Got what they needed there. The drive continues with a 9-yard pickup. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Here's Madison running on 1st down. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
A 5-yard pickup on the play. And it's 3rd down.
Hey, pick it up, defense. Let's go.
Cousins from the gun on 3rd. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here. So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. On 2nd and 11 now. Cousins. Lets it fly for Thielen. It's caught at the 10. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead. Well, that's how they envisioned it, get the football to start the game and score.
And I don't know if that was scripted. Was it an audible? Or was it just a play call that they had in their pocket? No matter what, they had the right call on against the right defense, and they end up in the end zone.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. A look at Kerryon Johnson, 2nd-year man out of Auburn. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here. And if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs. Run some plays, run some clock. Allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
32.
3rd and long. It's Stafford. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
But that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Let's go, let's go.
At their own 27-yard line.
And now out comes Minnesota. They have to be thrilled with that first drive that got them the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up a score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents.
Now a pass hauled in downfield. There he goes, right side. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Adam Thielen with his second TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Vikings get the quick strike touchdown. Extra point up and good by Bailey. And it's now 14-0. That'll be taken in the end zone. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything, at least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12. From the gun, here's Stafford. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A gain of 13, it's a 1st down.
All that practice time came to fruition on that play. All those timing routes that they worked on through training camp, OTAs, minicamp, and just regular season, they got it done on that one. An outcut.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Danielle Hunter able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Well, competition comes up in so many different ways. And right now, this unit, their competition is who's going to get to the quarterback the most times. How about 5 sacks last week? We just saw their first one of this game.
And now here's a deep shot that's complete. And he's finally taken down, and it's a big game there on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. From the red zone now, Stafford. It's caught outright, Amendola. Now the ball comes loose.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. Ball goes over the sideline, able to retain people.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Danny Amendola, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Lions have got it back to a 1-score game. Prater for the extra point, and that'll make our score 14-7. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Well, a couple of good division battles coming up in primetime this weekend, starting tonight with Sunday Night Football, Eagles and Cowboys from AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Then tomorrow on Monday night, it's the defending champs, the Patriots, on the road at MetLife Stadium to take on the Jets. 2 not to miss to close out Week 6. On 2nd down, this is Madison. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. It's a 1st down on a gain of 10.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get them. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Running from the gun, it's Abdullah. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
From the 41, Cousins. It's complete. Abdullah. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
On 1st down, Abdullah. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the 1st.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of the yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another 1st down with that run.
He's going to launch this thing way downfield. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Quandre Diggs. And he's going to return it to the 21-yard line. Well, this was a 14-0 game not too long ago. Things were looking pretty good. Then you give up the touchdown on the last drive. Now the interception.
So that's a lesson in trying to stay vigilant, isn't it? You have to stay on top of things. Can't relax too much because, as you noted, things change. Now they got to go out there and get a spark going again and try and slow down.
That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, Detroit. Kenny Golladay, 79 yards. And the Lions are an extra point away from tying this thing up.
Well, this is exactly where I expect teams to take a shot. Right after a turnover, you count on the defense being a little bit jumbled coming out on the field, maybe catch them back on their heels, and that's exactly what they did there. They threw it downfield and really created a big play.
Yeah, you said jumbled. They were the definition of jumbled defensively. One play and into the end zone. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And that 14-0 lead to begin the ball game, well, that's gone now. Time to regroup.
I think even up 2 touchdowns, they knew this wasn't going to be a walk in the park. And
the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Trey Flowers able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. A shotgun handoff. This is Abdullah. And some room for him there as he'll take this up to about the 15. Marcus Gilchrist there to bring him down.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Cousins going deep for Diggs. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And Detroit getting set to go now. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Here's Stafford. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. The big gainer there on the catch and run, 37 yards.
First down. First and 10 at the 26-yard line.
Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. They've moved the ball over 50 yards between this play and the last one.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking him for that much space to rumble.
A shotgun snap for Stafford. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked out and incomplete. Trey Waynes, the Michigan State man, right there in coverage.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
It's a loss of 4. Now third down.
On goal-to-goal runs, when you create lost yardage plays, the only way that happens is either called pressure or what I like to call straight-ahead pursuit. A great read, and they get to the backfield and make the play.
And that was a big chunk of yardage lost. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
And now out comes Minnesota. You're down 3 under a minute to go. How aggressive are you going to be in this spot?
Not as aggressive as I probably would want to be. Only down 3. I mean, it might as well be even going into the half. That's not a deficit that makes me want to push it and potentially make a mistake in this situation.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off by Jonathan Cyprien. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so.
A throw for Galladay is going to be intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Charles, I'm looking at you, and understandably, your mouth is wide open in disbelief. What were they thinking?
That's going to be one of the great mysteries, but I do know this. When they went out on offense, I will guarantee they told them, don't just make anticipatory throws. Make sure you see it before you throw it. Didn't happen here.
Trying to protect that lead, and now they gave it up. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. Inside of a minute left in the half, does the fact that you're down on the scoreboard influence what you do or, I guess, don't do on this final drive?
It certainly does, but what influences me even more is who I've got running my football team out on the field and the weapons around him. Can he make a play? Can he get into someone that we're going to trust to take care of the ball? If that's the case, I might push it a little bit here and try and get something before the half runs out.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Stafford. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
Well, he kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on third. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football and now zapped right back in the other direction. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Going to begin the drive here with Madison. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. Tackle made there by Nick Perry.
2 yards on the pickup.
So we've reached the second half upon us sooner than we bargained for. Week 7, second half. Let's do it. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. That'll be taken in the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground, and the Vikings pick up the football. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. And they came out of the locker trailing. Not a good way to start this second half with their first drive.
Can't imagine that the discussion at halftime encompassed this at all. In fact, I'm sure they talked about, okay, kind of wipe the slate clean, start the second half, and let's go out and play the way we know that we can. That's not a great example of it.
They didn't envision that. Cousins to throw it. He completes it to Abdullah. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. It's a gain of 16, and the Vikings have the first down as well. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. 16 yards. A little deja vu from the previous play where they got 16.
Here we go.
They run. Abdullah. And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Amir Abdullah. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the fumble recovery leads to 6 points for the Vikings. Bailey got the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. That's fielded in the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Faking the give to Johnson. Now it's Stafford. Throwing deep for Galladay. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man-on-man. And you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Now this one to his running back out of the backfield. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 15 yards on the play, 1st down.
Good route, good pickup for 1st down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover. The angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup.
From the 50, it's Stafford. James has got it. Complete.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, he couldn't turn it into much more.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. Kerryon Johnson, the intended receiver, and it's third down.
So it looked like maybe his third or his fourth read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
He gets it left side to Johnson. 20. There he goes left side. Touchdown, Detroit. Kerryon Johnson. His fifth touchdown now on the year. And the Lions able to get this back within a touchdown. They'll try and run for it with Johnson. And he is into the end zone again. So get him some oxygen. He scores on the long run and then punches in the two-point conversion for good measure. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. And they begin the drive with Abdullah. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Here's Madison running left. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It'll be a loss of a yard, and they're going to have a third down. A handoff to Abdullah. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up 4th.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Let's go. Do it.
First and 10 at their own 15-yard line.
260. Mike 40. Oh, yeah. Monday.
They'll try to get the offense going with Johnson. And not much there at all. He's up only to about the 16-yard line.
Right there.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. On 2nd and 9, Stafford. And he whips that one incomplete there. Johnson was the intended receiver, but now it'll be third down. Well, those two have hooked up for a touchdown once already in this game, that time unable to find the completion.
Yeah, it just appeared they wanted to get him out into open space and try and get him the football. As you mentioned, unable to connect.
He's going to fire one deep left side, looking for Amendola, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-rounder Trey Waynes. He couldn't hook up with Amendola there.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at the 45. They'll start on the ground with Madison. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down.
Well, as we've learned over the years, just because a guy plays left tackle doesn't mean he doesn't have run-blocking abilities, and we just saw it there. Controlled the line of scrimmage, created a big game.
That's kind of a bonus. He's there to protect that high value that you have back under center, but he creates space in the run game.
Yeah, not only can he dance, he can mash, too. They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. To throw on 2nd and 6, Cousins. Dancing to his left. Throw left side on target to Thielen. And they move this all the way down to the 9. 23 yards the pickup there. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. Give him 3 on the gain there. 2nd and goal. Back now at Ford Field. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. Going to run with Madison again. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Alexander Madison, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. Extra point up and good by Bailey. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. If you're thinking of a comeback here, you go to 2016. That's when Stafford had an NFL record 8 fourth-quarter comebacks. But last year, despite playing all 16 games, he had 0. Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. To throw again on 2nd down. Stafford. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
He started out having some troubles back in the first half connecting with his receivers. Really hasn't gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah, he's at less than 50%, and you and I both know that just won't do. So I would think about spreading things out, putting it on the receivers, make them win those one-on-one battles on the perimeter, and find their way open.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
Hey, 5-0.
Lions go for it on 4th. It's Stafford. That's to his running back, complete. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Throwing is Stafford. Forced out to his left. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another 1st down.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit, because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into some windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a 2nd interception, really a bad throw. So maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
There goes a deep ball, end zone. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. Once more, he was trying to get it to Kenny Golladay, and it's 3rd and short.
Here's the party now. White. My 40. Hey, orbit.
Out of the gun, Stafford. It's caught, Jones. And he will have 1st down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. Stafford to Jones, enough for a Lion 1st down. A 1st down carry here for Johnson. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Anthony Barr in on the tackle.
And that's called winning at the point of attack, isn't it? Right there at the line of scrimmage. I know he's a little bummed out now. He doesn't get credit for a tackle for a loss, but no gain, his guys will take that.
And speaking of winning, to be as cheesy as we can, he was the winner of the NFC Defensive Player of the Week award from last week, so he's really stringing together some good football.
So not only did he get a gold star, he might have gotten a gold watch too, huh?
Being chased out left. This is Johnson. He's got it. And he is going to get the 1st down as he covers up after a pretty good shot there. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains. Now Stafford. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. Now that sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down. To throw again on second down. Stafford buying time to his left. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's third.
Well, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah,
Galladay's got it, and the Lions have a touchdown. Kenny Galladay, his second touchdown of the afternoon, and the Lions have got it back to a one-score game. Extra point good by Prater. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Now a give to Madison. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35. Decent start defensively to this series. They've got to stop them here and get this ball back.
I like the way you phrase that, partner. Decent start. But now it's got to be more about the ball. It's all about the ball. Getting it away from them, because making good tackles is one thing, but the clock will run out on you. You've got to have the football back for your offense.
So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got a second down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ballgame. And now the question everyone's wondering, look at the clock, late fourth quarter, do they put the ball in the air here on third?
I don't. I run the football and I tell my offensive line, no leakage up front. I want my running back hit as I hand the ball off.
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Jarrad Davis. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. He got the sling lead late and the football, so why are you throwing it there?
Remember during the year when we asked one of the head coaches, if you're in this spot, why would you throw the ball? And he talked about trust in his quarterback and trust in his offense.
But still.
And then at the end he kind of went, yeah, not really a good reason.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Back to throw. Completing it to the right side, Johnson. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Partner, they're clearly saving those timeouts, but they still have to work with some urgency to put themselves in the right position.
They'll look to throw. And Jones has it over the middle. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. He's back to throw. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds left to go.
Okay, was it a breakdown in protection? Did the running back not pick him up? What does it really matter? Sometimes it's just a great play made by the defense. Big-time sack.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down. The way he's throwing the football today, almost a surprise when he doesn't complete a pass like having there, but he needs a few more to get his guys downfield.
Well, the way he's thrown it leads him to believe that he's going to get those completions. And that means the guys going out for passes, they'll run even harder because they expect it as well.
They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a first down. Back to throw. He's going to let it fly. And this is incomplete. So no miracles here on the final play. And this ball game is over. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play where